If you're a music producer selling beats online, there's a good chance half your catalog can never get placed on TV or in film. Not because your beats aren't good enough. We all know your beats are fire, fam, but it's because of how you sold them. I've been placing music on NBC, CBS, Fox, and Netflix for over 13 years, and this is one of the quietest ways I see producers block themselves out of sync money without ever knowing it. Here's what's happening. You make a beat. You upload it to whatever service you use to license, lease your beats online. You put a lease on it for $30, and over the next year, 40 different artists lease that same beat. That's the whole point of non-exclusive leases. You sell it over and over, and it's cool. It's steady income. It keeps the lights on. I get it. Then one day you start looking at sync. You see producers getting paid sync fees for a beat landing in a show, and you think, cool, I've got like 200 beats sitting right here. Let me start pitching those to libraries and publishers. So you send your best work over to a music licensing company, and before they talk about the music, they ask you one question. Do you own this outright, and is anybody else using it? And that's the moment it gets uncomfortable, because that beat's out there under 40 different songs on 40 different artist pages with 40 different people who all paid you for the right to use it. The library can't sign it. The publisher can't clear it. That beat is dead as a sync asset because that beat is out there under 40 different songs on 40 different artist pages with 40 different people who all paid you for the right to use it. The library can't sign it. The publisher can't clear it. That beat is dead as a sync asset, and you didn't even know you killed it. When you sell a lease, you keep the beat. That part's true, right? You still own the master and the composition. Nobody took that from you. But you also gave 40 people permission to release music on top of it. Those songs are live right now. They're on Spotify, they're on Apple Music, they're on YouTube. That's fine for lease income. Nobody's getting hurt. Sync works on a completely different set of rules. When a production music library or a sync publisher takes on a track, they need to know they can control where it shows up. They need exclusivity, or at minimum, exclusive sync rights before they'll invest in pitching it. You can't give them that. You already gave a piece of it away 40 times, and you can't take it back either. Those licenses you sold are still valid. Every artist you sold to has a signed agreement saying they can keep using that beat. So when the library asks if the track is clean and exclusive, your honest answer is no. And that's the end of the conversation. Here's the part that really catches producers off guard. Sync clearance is about two things: the master recording, which is the audio itself, and the composition underneath it. Both have to be clean. No question marks, no competing claims. Now think about those 40 artists who leased your beat. A lot of them uploaded their song through a distributor. Some of them registered the composition with a performing rights organization. And a good number of them registered claiming 100% of the writing because they didn't know any better and nobody told them otherwise. Your beat is sitting underneath all of it. So now there are claims floating around on a composition you wrote. There's content identification catching your melody on tracks you had nothing to do with. And when a licensing company runs your instrumental through their clearance process, that mess shows up. They're not going to untangle it for you. They're not going to call 40 artists and sort out all the splits. They've got 100 other producers submitting clean tracks this week. They'll just pass and move on. If you're sitting on a catalog right now and you have no idea which beats are still clean enough to pitch, that's exactly what we work through inside Sync Producer Hub. We break down how to audit what you've already sold, what a library actually needs to see before they'll sign a track, and how to build beats that can survive the clearance process. The link is in the description. So what do you actually do here? You stop treating one catalog like it can do two jobs. Lease income and sync income are two different businesses. They pull in opposite directions. Leasing pays you by selling the same beat as many times as you can. Sync pays you by proving nobody else can touch it. A beat can live in one lane or the other. It cannot live in both. So just split it up. Keep your lease catalog on whatever site you use to lease your beats. That's fast money and there's nothing wrong with it. Then build a second catalog that never touches those online marketplaces. No leases, no exclusives sold to artists, nothing released on it. Those beats exist for one reason, and that's to get placed in TV and film. That's what you send to a library. That's what you sign to a publisher. That's a track you can answer every ownership question about with a clean yes. And that's the beat that can earn for years because a library placement doesn't stop paying after one sale. Picture a producer who's been selling beats for 3 years. He's built up 300 beats and he's making a few thousand a month on Leases. It's a good business. Then he gets a real conversation going with the licensing company that places music for cable, reality TV, ads, different things like that. They love his sound. They ask him to send over 20 tracks and confirm ownership and exclusivity on all of them. He goes back through his catalog and starts counting. Every beat he's proud of, every beat with his best drums and his best melodies is the same beat he's been selling Leases on for years. Those are his top sellers. That's why they're his best work. Out of 300 beats, he finds 11 that nobody ever touched. 11. He's not starting over, but he's close. And now he's building a sync catalog from scratch while a library that already said yes waits on him. That whole situation is avoidable. You just have to know the rules before you upload. So, short version of everything we just covered. A non-exclusive lease keeps your ownership, but it burns your exclusivity. And exclusivity is what a sync library is actually buying. The artists who leased your beats out there, registering songs and generating claims on your composition, that turns clearance into a mess nobody wants to deal with. And the fix is simple. 2 catalogs, one for Leases, one for sync. And no beat crosses over. Protect your best work from your own storefront. That's the whole game. You came into this video wondering why libraries weren't biting on beats that clearly sound good enough. Now you know it probably has nothing to do with the beat. It's what you already did with it. Sync Producer Hub is where we build that second catalog the right way, so the beats you're making now can actually get placed instead of getting stuck. The link is in the description. And if you want to avoid the next mistake most producers make in sync licensing, watch this next video.